Well, I've been thinking over the past few days about all the things, and I'm finding a lot of irony in it all. A lot of irony, and I don't want to um, be disrespectful or diminish the light, really, that is exposing a lot of things going on right now. But I'm finding a lot of irony in it, and I'm going to try to break it down. Um, what I'm talking about, what I find ironic. So now we've had another person killed, another white person, now a white male. A white male. Just a couple of weeks after a white female was killed in Minnesota. Okay, I think if you are watching the news, if you're still getting outside your door into civilization, you kind of have a little bit of a grasp of what's going on. So now a white male has been killed. And yes, another tragedy. Another tragedy. Um, Another atrocity. So, a white male, a white female. And today, as I was researching, there was actually a black male that, for whatever reason, we didn't hear about, who was killed um, around New Year's. A black male. And all of the accounts and the things that we don't know about, the things going on in the detention centers. Yes, people getting killed there too. But a white male, now it seems to be a big deal. That's one of the ironies. Well, you know, the people responsible for these killings, I'm not going to sugarcoat it and censor it. I mean, it is this is the reality for these killings of these white people. And the agency is to get the illegal immigrants out of the U.S. with the main reason being murderers, drug traffickers, sex offenders. But really, it's because they're illegal. Okay? But this organization is supposed to get the worst of the worst, right? But even before that, we when I say we, there was a pretty good chunk of the American people who felt threatened by immigrants or people who were illegal or yet to be legal. But here's another irony. Well, I think I could be wrong. I'm sure there's a percentage that I'm not being accurate with, but I think that the majority of people who look like me, white females, white males in America, U.S. citizens. Again, if we go back to the foundation of this country, we are the immigrants. Us whiteys, we're the immigrants. How ironic. And like I said, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but here's an organization who is supposed to be going after immigrants, but just the bad ones who don't bring anything good into the country. But really seem to look like a threat to whiteys. So, we are the immigrants. We are immigrants. Did you know that? Did you white folks know that we are the immigrants? Read a book. Do a little bit of research. I've been out of school for a long, long, long time, but we have a wealth of knowledge and a wealth of information out there. And yeah, you're gonna kind of have to sort through and pick and choose and source a lot of different angles to hopefully get the correct vision and the correct view and the honest knowing and realization of who we are. I can't even believe that I'm making a video about this. I can't even believe I'm talking about this. I can't even believe that immigrants are killing immigrants. But really, the other irony is, why does it take us whiteys to see a couple of whiteys killed to actually give a fuck? To actually give a shit? To actually wake the fuck up? To feel? To actually have some sort of association of, man, that person looks like me. They got the same skin color. Now that hits a core. Now that feels like something. I'm ashamed. I have to put that at the top of the list of ironies and admit that. And that I'm guilty of that too. And a friend recently said, well, you're just now waking up. You're just now seeming to care. You're just now finding out. Something like that, A somewhat healthy debate. And yeah, my whole life I haven't cared about politics. I've never registered to vote. I've never voted. I never believed in it. I always thought, even at the youngest age, that it didn't matter even what the person was saying or what the person stood for or what the person wanted to do, because there was some sort of manipulation and corruption, and it would never turn out the way that you would think that it turned out. I'm talking about as a teenager. I could see this, and into my 20s, my 30s, and I'm into my 40s, almost getting into 50. It seemed like a scam. It was unfortunate. And I didn't talk about politics, and I didn't get into it, and I didn't bitch about it. I did nothing. I really kept myself out of all of it. But recently, the politics have shown me something that I do care about. And what I do care about is humanity. What I do care about is the collective, us as a whole. What I do care about is seeing ourselves in others. I do care about that. And that does matter to me. And saying something on that does mean something. It just happens to kind of be tied to politics, for me at this point. That okay, this is not about one side and the other side. This is not about right and left. This is about right and wrong. And I'm feel somewhat hopeful that more and more people are waking up to this. Like I said, as a white person, I feel ashamed that it has to come down to white people being killed for it to actually seem to matter, I watched a video earlier, and the lady said a word, and I think it's fitting. Atonement. Atonement. I think we are being given this opportunity, all of us, finally, us whiteys, the ones who came over as immigrants and changed the whole fucking continent, changed the whole land, changed the population. I believe now we are in a moment of having the opportunity of atonement. So, irony. I don't think from the past several days that things can't be more clear. Right? If you can see, if you can hear, if you can accept, if you can get past right and left and get with right and wrong. I think we got a chance. We're not done yet in a lot of ways. So keep going. Open your eyes, open your ears. Speak. Take care. Be safe.